Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. A bit puffed. I've literally just got, Charlie's heavy, I've just got back from shopping. Trying to move as quickly as possible, keep everything working and moving, so looking at the time I need to crack on, and also lugging the trolley up the hill because I've actually done a big shop today. I haven't done a big shop for ages. I've been trying to live out of the cupboards, out of the freezer as much as possible, but I don't know if you'll be able to see from there. Can you see? It's pretty much completely empty. There's 2 onions. That's a portion of chilli for my dinner tonight, and condiments. Condiments, that's it. So, shall I bring you a bit? I'm going to have a sit down. I'm going to bring you closer, show you what I've got with my shop, and then a little chatty catch up about other stuff, some more consumer stuff. That's better. It is a good workout for me though. I just timed myself, that's partly why I was looking at the clock, 45 minutes, 4-5. That's walk down the hill, walk through town, walk around the supermarket, queue to pay, walk across town again and back up my hill. So that's kind of 45 minutes of continuous movement. It all counts, doesn't it? So I got myself 2 lots of mushrooms. One will be a bolognese and the other will be a curry. Oh, this is it. I found a whopper. Whopping cauliflower, huge. So obviously I will eat the leaves as well, they'll go into a soup. But I'm going to use, I was planning on half and half, but it might be a third and a third and a third. But I'm going to make that gorgeous soup I made, the cauliflower, sweet potato, lentil dal type soup. It's really thick. It's so filling. It's almost like a main meal. Just literally soup on its own. So filling. So I'm going to do that again. I haven't done it since I did the video of it. And I've got no portions left in the freezer. So half and half. Some spinach. That will go in the bolognese. What was that? Oh, a bit of cauliflower leaf. Some whole wheat pasta. I've sort of got enough, but I thought, look, while I'm out there doing a big shop, I might as well get my pasta at the same time. Block of cheese, let me put that, oh dear, straight in the fridge. So with that, I'll halve it. I'll put half in the fridge for now, and I'll put half in the freezer to have out later. Some celery, and I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but people do notice it in my videos. I have a pot, ceramic pot. I put about that much water in it, pop the celery in it. I don't keep it in the fridge. I don't keep it wrapped up at all. It literally will just sit in that pot. It can keep for weeks like that. I think the longest I've kept it like that was maybe 4 weeks. It would probably would keep for longer. It's just that I use it up. And the great thing about keeping it in the pot of water is it will keep sprouting. So I get some leaves as well as the stalks. So I get a little bit more bang for my buck. Brilliant. A sweet potato. That will go with the cauliflower for that soup. 2 more onions. I try to buy as much produce loose as I can. It's not always possible. These were possible. Grab them all. It's about a kilo of carrots. Pretty much go in everything. Certainly any soups I'm making. Except they won't go in the cauliflower, sweet potato, lentil, dal soup. I don't think it had any carrots in it. Anyway. They'll go in soup, they'll go in fasolada. Speaking of fasolada, I want to make one this week. We are now out of swede season. So I've been using swede as a substitute for potato. Well, I don't know if we're out of season, but there just weren't any in the supermarket, so I've had to revert to buying a spud. So that's for the fasolada. Nearly done. Some satsumas, a little bit of fruit for the week. There's probably enough in there for 2 a day. Lovely. Either as a snack or as pudding. And then finally, a tin of butter beans for my fasolada because I don't have any of my own beans. I've got to say the co-op where I go, it's not tiny, it's not huge. I would say it's a decent size for a very small town, but their range of beans, tinned beans, is rubbish. I mean, they've got butter beans, red kidney beans, chickpeas, and there might be one other type of white bean, I can't remember. They don't have any organic ones. Yeah, I need to find another bean supply because what I really was hoping to see is the Bean Co. beans because they are so good. They are expensive. They're twice, if not more, the price of these. But my goodness, once in a while as a treat, they are so worth it. Right, that's it. So that's my, let me show you. Oh, ow. The problem with sitting down after trekking is one's legs. I'm woman handling. There we go. So that's my big weekly shop. Let me get it all put away and then I will have a natter with you. I forgot to say, Bertie bonus. They're almost, they're an odd colour, sort of blue-green almost. They're a gift, they're a freebie from one of my neighbours. It's actually the second lot. I'm so grateful. First lot, they appeared in my pigeonhole one day with a message to say thank you. They're basically a thank you for me, taking in his parcels, which is, I mean, it's like, I work from home. I think he's actually grateful that I work from home because it's also a thank you for me getting him out of a pickle a couple of times. Let's just say with a lost front door key or whatever. So yeah, how utterly lovely. I really enjoyed the first lot. The yolks were such a beautiful, intense colour. So yeah, they're from his mate's flock. So they'll be fresh. Apparently they're massively producing at the moment. So he's like, look, there's a glut of eggs. He's written the dates on them in pencil. Yeah, great. So they're more than happy for them to, you know, be put to good use. So with that first lot, quite simply, I just have, I boiled up 3 in one go, hard boiled them, and then just had them 1 a day for the next few days, just as a snack. Brilliant, yay! So that's a really nice addition to the weekly shop, isn't it? Coincidentally, when I was there today, because the previous eggs, it was a couple of weeks ago now, I didn't really have much of an idea of how much eggs cost. I've bought them on a couple of occasions when Richard and Paul have visited for sort of having a cooked breakfast brunch on the day they go. Last couple of times they've actually brought the eggs or bought the eggs. So I couldn't remember off the top of my head how much they cost to have organic, free range eggs. But they look like they're sort of £4 or more for half a dozen. So I'm really, really, really grateful. Right, almost finished putting away. Then I think I'm gonna have a quick drink and then we can have a natter. It's actually about an hour later. I suddenly remembered all the things I had to do. And it's really chilly in here today. I've actually just made myself a hot water bottle, for goodness sakes, and a mug of hot chocolate. I looked at the kitchen thermometer. 14 degrees centigrade. Are you kidding me? That's about 56, 58 Fahrenheit. It's the middle of May, for goodness sakes. We have had for the last, I mean, do you remember when I was telling you about my visit to Kate, that glorious weekend that was positively warm. I wouldn't say hot, but warm. I mean, it felt hot after months of chill. It disappeared, and the first sort of 2.5 weeks or so of May, it's been a story of an Arctic wind coming down and keeping our temperatures quite a bit, 4 to 6 degrees below average. The weather forecast does say that in the next couple of days the temperatures are going to start going up and we should get back to about 20, which will be really nice, and sunshine. That's what I really want. Anyways, I just thought I'm going to sit here chatting for a minute. I'm going to jolly well have a hot water bottle and rub my hands on it. And talking of the chill, towards the end of April, around about the 24th or 25th, the temperatures were starting to climb, and I thought, right, that's it, winter is finally over. So I gathered together all my quilts and blankets, not my continental duvet, but the quilts I put on top. 2 quilts, couple of blankets, get everything washed, all my thermals, my long johns and my long t-shirts, get it all washed, dried, aired, really thoroughly aired, and then it can be packed away until October or so. Yeah, I've been back in under the bed. I've got a storage thing to grab out my thermal long johns again. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I was trying to think what was the temperature like this time last year. I don't keep records, but I could tell. I just kind of looked back at some of the photos of me in the garden at this time last year. It was definitely warmer. But anyway, yeah, the sunshine is coming. Actually, just in terms of sequence of videos, by the time you see this, I'll have probably put out a couple of gardening videos. This one will get bumped because the gardening videos need to be more contemporaneously put out as to when they were shot. Gardening's more time specific. Just want to mention a book I've just finished reading. Travels with Epicurus, Daniel Klein. Epicurus, I'm in the kitchen, we'll come to that. Meditations from a Greek island on the pleasures of old age. Now, I didn't buy it with the old age bit in mind. I saw the cover and I thought, oh, that looks like Greece. And I was feeling that need to feel the heat of Greece. It looks like Greece, Travels with Epicurus, brilliant. It's just a really tiny, short little book. It's only about 170 odd pages. So 2 things from the outset. One, the thing about Pleasures of Old Age. I didn't buy it because I think, oh, I'm getting old. But actually the book, I'll come to it. The main thing to consider before I start talking about it is Epicurus. So a lot of you will have heard the expression, Epicurean. Oh, she's an Epicurean. And I think most of us think of Epicurean as being to do with, hang on, another gulp. So it's going to be really annoying me drinking hot chocolate. I'll do it down in 2 more gulps. We think of Epicurean as being someone who is perhaps really into the sort of the finer things of life and really sumptuous feasts, really, really gorgeous food, perhaps expensive food, etc., etc. A beautiful home, lavishly furnished, etc. I think that's what most of us think of when we think of Epicurean. But it's actually a bit of a misnomer, or it's a bit of a misrepresentation of Epicurus, the Greek philosopher. I don't know where or when in history or how in history it got kind of almost virtually turned on its head, because Epicurus was all about the simple things, and in fact one of his favourite meals was very simply was boiled lentils, a very simple lentil dal, if you like. Really enjoyed the simple things. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how it's come to mean pretty much diametrically the opposite. So I picked this up because of the cover and because of Epicurus, and it's a really lovely little read. So the guy who's written it is 73, and he talks about old age in 2 parts. He's old. He says, I'm old, but then he talks about old age, double old. Old age is probably, I think he's thinking 85, 90 plus, when one really is sort of coming to the end of one's ability, say physically, but the whole tone of the book is him looking at what makes for a good old age. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, why wait? So some of the simple, and he's coming back to Epicurus, the real Epicurus, the simple stuff. Having a very simple meal, but just enjoying it. Just taking the time to sit down and enjoy that food and, you know, letting it digest. Sitting with friends, talking. He meets with a group of other old boys outside a taverna in the afternoon. Taking time to play a game of backgammon or chess. Taking time to read a book. It's very much about slowing down, being in the moment and enjoying those simple pleasures. And as I say, as I was reading it, I was thinking, well, I do enjoy a lot of those pleasures, including a hot chocolate on a chilly day. So why don't more of us make the most of that sort of thing right now? Why wait until old age? Why wait till we're 73? For me, that's another 14, 15 years away. And then I got to thinking how most of us would say, and I've said it myself in videos over and over again, and perhaps we need to stop saying it because we're almost reinforcing it, but saying things like, as I have, we all lead such busy lives, ... As in, it's hard to fit that in, or it's hard to do this, it's hard to do that, because we all lead such busy lives. Why are our lives so busy? Are we busy doing things that really don't matter? So maybe we can jettison them and spend more time doing the simple stuff that really gives us pleasure. Whether it's, you know, having the time to take a walk to go nowhere, just for the sake of having the walk and enjoying, whether it's the countryside or if you're in a town or city, enjoying the architecture. If you're in a town and city, always look up. There's always so much to see if we look up. Taking the time to say, you know what, I feel like having a nap. I'm jolly well going to have a nap. Maybe half an hour, no more, maybe an hour tops, but I'm going to take the time to have my nap. So all this, we lead busy lives. So one of the things I jettison for the sake of being able to have my moments, I jettison housework. Just can't be bothered. It's like, you know, I'm too busy. There we go again, saying I'm too busy. But I have so much going on. But I do prioritise, I do try every day to take a moment, even if it's for half an hour, just to stop everything. Not necessarily turn the computer off, but walk away from it. Go and sit in the garden for half an hour, put the radio on. You know, I like my radio 4 at 6:30. 10 o'clock in the evening, turn everything off and just read for an hour or two. And if I fancy reading a little bit longer, if I fancy reading till 1 or 2 in the morning, as I did with those Dorset crime books, do it, because I know I'll make the time up tomorrow. I'm still going to work tomorrow, so obviously work is a really big one for all of us. That, well, we can't jettison that because we have bills to pay. Last gulp, excuse me. But maybe we could cut down on some hours if you have the kind of work where you could do that. Maybe more of us could go part-time if we didn't buy so much. If we stopped buying so much stuff that we don't actually need, we could work less hours, make less money, because we need less money to live on, because we're not buying all the extraneous stuff, and make more time for the stuff that's really important, that has meaning, that, you know, when we're on our deathbeds, or, you know, even before that, I hope, we can think back. Like, I had that lovely weekend with Kate. I could have spent that whole weekend doing housework. Forget it. I'll reflect on that lovely weekend, and it was all about just being, and being with her, and being in the moment, and just letting go of everything, and taking everything else in. So yeah. So I don't know where I'm going with that. It's just that it was a really thought-provoking little book. I do recommend it. Maybe your library will have it. It's fairly recent, I think. I think I read that it was 2001 or so. Let me just double check. 2001, what am I talking about? 2014. Your library might have it. Anyway, yeah, I think that's definitely my philosophy ever since I stopped working for a wage is there's got to be more to life than just working all the time and running around chasing all the time and cleaning the house all the time. Look, I should say I do keep the kitchen clean. When it comes to food prep, I am hygienic. I think there's a difference between kind of all that housework stuff and hygiene. I am hygienic. It's just, I think, I see a cobweb, I think, I'll just leave it another week. What's going to happen to me if I leave a cobweb hanging for an extra week? Nothing. What might happen though is I take time out of my day to do something more pleasurable, and I might even have an epiphanic moment doing it. Anyway, there we go. Sweet book, enjoyed it. What I've also just enjoyed, excuse me, that chocolate's only gone halfway down. I've had this fabric for a while. It was sent to me. It's cute chickens. I've used a bit of it, but I was going through my fabric stash the other day and I was thinking I really want to use it. I need a corresponding fabric, but it's a really hard blue to correspond with. It's almost a tealy blue. I went through every blue in my collection. I even went towards greens because I just couldn't work anything with it. So I thought I just need a little bit of fabric. So I bought my first fabric in Swanage. It's not actually, I thought it's not perfect, but it does work. It's really sweet. It's little is it like little dandelion clocks blowing? So this has come from the Wool and Craft shop in Swanage. Remember when the Richard and Paul were visiting, we all went in there and I think Richard bought some, he bought some yarn. And I was showing you in the back, they've got the fabrics and they're all these sort of cotton poplins, so they're quilting weight fabrics, exactly what I work with. And what's great is they sell some by the fat quarter, so they're just kind of in a little drawer at the bottom, folded up like this. You can go through with your fingers. Oh, lovely, lovely. And it's great if you don't need a huge amount, because fabric is getting so expensive, isn't it? So yeah, this is a fat quarter, and that's plenty. So yeah, having had the sewing machine out to do Kate's bunting, I suddenly thought, oh, it's a really little project. I'm just going to do a couple of lavender bags because I've got some lavender. So I'm going to make some little chicken lavender bags. Oh, I'm just thinking as well, because of the chicken eggs, I don't know if I'll have enough. You see, my thought now is I should make a chicken lavender bag to give to my neighbour, to give to his friend who's got the flock of chickens, to say thank you for the eggs. But the whole idea with the eggs was they're a thank you to me. So if I start saying thank you to them, they're going to then have to thank me back. It has to stop somewhere. Anyway, I am delighted to have bought my first piece of Swanage fabric, and I am absolutely incontrovertibly assuaged of the persuasion that it will not be the last. Yay! What else? I need to get my water now. That's better. One grrr, and then we'll end on a happy. This is one of those is it just me moments. Is it just me who finds this world insane making? I need to cling on to this. There are things, technology is supposed to make life easier, and let's face it, when it's working, I think more often than not, it does make life easier. But I find myself more and more these days being thwarted by it and thinking, I mean, it's too late, the genie's out of the bottle, but I almost want to go back 30 years to before we had all the tech, where we do everything in person, on the high street, for example. and we all knew where we stood. So as you know, I have multiple bank accounts and within each bank account I have multiple different savings accounts. It acts as my cash envelope system. I very quickly every morning, it takes seconds, I just go on each account, to each bank and see my 3 different accounts for each bank. Drop down, just make sure everything is as it's supposed to be, so I can at a glance go, okay, I haven't been defrauded of my money overnight. Like I say, it takes seconds, but it means I know exactly where I stand every day with my money. And also it's just that double checking that no fraud has happened, because if something has happened, I want to be able to report it as quickly as possible, because that did happen to me once. I was able to report it within hours of it happening, and the money was back in my account within, I think it took about 2 days. Anyway, so I went to one of my accounts the other morning, as I always do, as I have done day after day for years now, years. I went to type in my username and then to type in my password. And once I get beyond that bit, there's 2 different types of, on this particular account, there's 2 different passwords. One is, so I have a username and password, I get in, and then I have the bit where you pick certain letters, you know, it'll say the 1st, 3rd, 7th and 10th of your other password. They've got different names, but anyway, you get the gist. So I'm on the first page, username, password or passkey, whatever you call it, comes back with red box, invalid entry. So, oh, I thought, oh, have I got the caps lock on? So first thing I did was I pressed, you know, you press those buttons, it looks like an eyeball, an eye, so you can see what you're typing rather than typing blind. So turn that on, put all my stuff in again in the correct, you know, lowercase, uppercase, whatever it needed, I did it correctly. Came up again, incorrect. I thought, have I spelt it? Have I spelt something wrong? Did it again, 3rd time. Flashed up again. And I read it a bit more closely, and it said something about invalid entry. You must enter a valid value. Now, value to me is associated with numbers. It's not just me, is it? A value is numerical. And I thought, well, it isn't a value in that box, it's my username, and my username is made up of letters. It's a name. It's not Vivi. I don't use my own name because, you know, obviously we all try to encrypt things as much as possible, but it's a name. It's not a value. So I tried it one more time. Anyway, I couldn't get in. Now, in that kind of brief moment, I could have thought, you know what, it's fine, it's not important, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. But I thought, no, actually, I need to transfer a little bit of that money over to a different account, to a current account, in order to pay one of my annual bills that's coming up. So I do need to be able to get on there. Long story short, it's not over, I rang customer services and went through the whole, you know, the menus, and press 1 and press this, and key in your life story, do. I'm sorry, and we do not recognise the number you keyed in. Can you please key in your life story again? Do. Thank you, you now have 79 other options. Eventually got a human. Yay, she was a nice human. I could understand her, she could understand me. So I explained the problem, and she said, which username are you using? So I told her, and she said, yes, that's the one that I've got in front of me. And then it's not the password where you identify, it's not the final password, because you should never divulge that to anyone, not even a member of staff at the bank, ever. It's a different one, it's kind of numbers or something. Anyway, so I told her that, and she said, yes, that's your login information. That is your correct login information. And I said, well, I can't log in. And I explained the whole, it's asking me for a value, but my name isn't a value. She's like, oh, let me try, and it wouldn't work. And she said, oh, I don't know what's wrong. It's like, well, you need to find out. Don't just leave me hanging. And she said, right, all I can suggest, Miss Gregory, is you pop into your local branch and they'll sort it for you there. And that's the moment I felt like I was seeing red. I always, always, always am mindful to stay calm on the phone because it's not her fault. So I very calmly and quietly said, well, I would pop into branch, except you've closed them all. It's true, they're just closing them all. So the Swanage branch of this particular bank closed, I don't know. Actually, I don't know when it closed. It was a few years ago. The one back in London, that one of mine in London, that closed 4 or 5 years ago. Wareham, you've heard me talking about Wareham, the gateway to Purbeck. That's a bus ride away. It's about 10 miles and it takes about 40-45 minutes on the bus, so long as there are no stray sheep on the road, or so long as it's not milking time and you've got cows in a pasture over here but their milking parlour is on the other side of the road, so you have to wait for it. You get the gist. It's about a 45-minute bus ride away. That branch is about to close. So yeah, I said to her, well, you've closed all the branches. And she said, oh, let me find your nearest local branch. And she went, oh, right, yes, it is a little bit of a ways away, isn't it? So the nearest branch for me now would be Poole. So bear in mind, with my walk to the bus station, take the bus, let's say it runs completely on time, walk from the bus station to the branch, that whole thing would take about 1 hour and 35, hour and 40 minutes. So there and back, before I've even done any business, it's going to take me best part of 3.5 hours and cost me £6. So half a day taken out to pop into my branch to fix a problem that it's not of my creating. And I said to her, I said, look, I kind of played this a bit. I said, I'm not very mobile. That would be really difficult for me to do. And well, that is true. I'm not very mobile. That would be really difficult for me to do. I need you guys to sort it out for me. And she said, well, all I can do is flag it as an IT issue and give you an IT ticket number. Anyway, so she gave me this IT ticket number, which I've written down, and that was about maybe a week or so ago, I'm not sure exactly. I've tried every morning since, still can't get on. So it's one of my jobs this week. I'm going to have an admin day. I have to have an admin day because there's so much stuff around me that's not working that I need to be able to work, including accessing my blooming money. I mean, fortunately, I don't have any emergencies going on at the moment, and fortunately, I do have another bank account, so if there's an emergency, I can access some money from that savings account. But that's beside the point. That could be the only bank that I bank with. And we are being forced, all of us being forced, more and more and more to do our banking online, whether it's in an app on your phone or, like me, online at home on a computer. We're being forced to do that. So they have to take responsibility when that doesn't work. So yeah, I'm calling them this week to say, how are you going to fix it? And hopefully get them to fix it. But then as soon as it's fixed, this is something I mentioned a few weeks ago now about, oh yeah, when I was talking about Awful April and trying to bring any bills down that we can, but also make the most of any free money that's available. And one of the things I keep seeing advertised is Nationwide. Oh, and funnily enough, okay, so Nationwide, they keep putting these adverts out saying we're not closing branches, and they've got an offer on if you do the switch to them, you get £175. So I'm going to switch my Lloyds to them. A, because there's a branch in Swanage, so I could actually go face to face if there's a problem, and B, £175. Thank you very much. And I noticed on my way home on the bus recently, I was probably coming back from the hospital, there's a bus stop, well, the bus is slowed down, so where the Lloyds is in Wareham, it's right next door to a Nationwide. I wish I'd taken a photo, I didn't have my camera, because I can't remember the exact words, but Nationwide have got an A-frame, you know, a sign that you put in the street to advertise your business. They're right next door to Lloyds, and they've put this sign out, and on one side, the side that as you're walking down the road, you'd walk down the road, here's Nationwide, and you carry on, and there's Lloyd's, so coming this way. And it's even cheekier facing the other way, so Lloyd's staff would have to see it. And basically the sign is saying, they're showing you absolutely zero loyalty. Why stick with a bank that's not even going to be here? Come to us, because we are actually here. And you know what? I think they'll get some business from it, because it is getting to the point where, you know, towns up and down the country, we've got no banks. We have nowhere to go to do our banking. So yeah, try and get the Lloyd's sorted out. Once it's sorted out and I can access it again, then do the switch and switch to a company who actually have face-to-face for their customers. Yay to that. Right, happy note finally. I mean, that stuff with the Lloyd's, it's not an unhappy note, it's just another one of those life's frustrations where we have to take time out of our busy days, back to that busy, stop talking about being busy, back to our full days that are full of other things. I'm basically going to have to give up my precious time that could be spent gazing at the sea in order to fix a problem with this company. And while people keep putting their prices up and up and up and service comes down and down and down, we're losing out in two ways. We're losing out because we're paying more for everything, but we're also paying with our own time when we're having to fix these blimmin' problems. Right, shush. Happy note. Earlier this month, and it will be, I think it's going to be on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, have a look. There was a special programme for an hour and a half one evening to celebrate the beautiful, the fabulous, the amazing Sir David Attenborough. It was a little birthday party at the Royal Albert Hall for him, and throughout the evening they showed all sorts of clips from him. I mean, his career's been 70 plus years long. So some of the older stuff, Zoo Quest, which I don't remember, it was way before I was born, but I do remember my parents having some of the Zoo Quest books on the shelves, which I pored over, right up to his most recent work. So lots of wonderful clips, especially, I loved the bit, I'm sure we all do, from, I think they said it was 1978, and I was thinking, wow, I was only 10 or 11, and I remember it so clearly, him with the mountain gorillas in Rwanda. So loads of clips, but also they had, so it was hosted by, oh, what's her name? Kirsty Walk. Is it Kirsty Walk? She's a news documentary type broadcaster. So she was hosting the event, and all sorts of other famous people were brought up on stage and interviewed about how Sir David Attenborough has impacted on their life, including Michael Palin. Because I didn't know this, David Attenborough brought Monty Python to our screens. He was in charge of BBC Two at the beginning. Anyway, it was a lovely evening, and they had was it the BBC Symphony Orchestra, I think, and they were playing whole sections of music that have been used as background to some of the, Blue Planet, many of his programmes. Amongst some of the clips, the one towards the end is that one I'm sure everybody's seen. I think it's the most viewed natural history clip online, and it's the one of, I'm going to say the S word to do with these creatures that slither, so if you don't like it, block your ears for a minute. I'll give you the thumbs up when I've finished talking about it, because I know some people are really... It's the clip, it's from the Galapagos Islands. There's a certain type of... not very good at reptiles. It's like a gecko of some sort, lizard, gecko, little miniature dragon, and they hatch on the beach, and then they climb up onto the rocks. You all know what I'm talking about, don't you? When all those snakes come out of the rocks and they're chasing, So they showed that clip, brilliant. But the reason I'm mentioning that clip is because it's partly to do with the music and all the underscoring of his programmes. So there are moments where the orchestra were just playing actually really beautiful music, couple that were sung to. There was one band, anyway, I'm forgetting details. Oh, by the way, for those who have done that, I'll stop talking about it now. A lovely, lovely, lovely 1.5 hours of viewing, and getting back to this. Take some time out to have something just so wonderfully positive and lovely and life-affirming, and there'll never be another person like him, ever, I doubt. And at the end, the singing of Happy Birthday. And I'm going to get emotional now. And I sat there on my sofa watching it, and I sang Happy Birthday, dear Sir David, happy birthday to you. And I was thinking, you know, he is going to die soon, you know, he can't go on forever. And when he dies, I was thinking we should have a day off for a national day, not of mourning, a national day of celebrating our natural world and everything that he introduced us to. What a man, what a man. Yeah, a really lovely, life-affirming, uplifting bit of viewing. Go and have a watch. Right, that's enough from me. My hottie botty's getting cold. I need to go into the front room now, I think, because the front room's always warmer because it does get a bit of sun on it all day. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. Bit of an eclectic one, shopping and books and Sir David Attenborough and banks, and there we go. I will see you all again really soon. What are we doing? I think probably, hopefully, some stuff outside in the garden. It's long overdue, but hopefully this sun is coming and the warmth is coming so we can all get on and enjoy our outside spaces again. Anyway, until then, please look after yourselves. And for now, cheerio.